Hi everybody, this is Sean at Honey Drop Farm, sharing our mistakes on our journey to farming and keeping bees for a living. I am at the home of a friend that I showed in the last video. This is that hive that had 54 mites and 300 bees in a sugar roll, and that's a very, very high mite load. And the problem is that it's mid-October and they're supposed to be already, mostly done with making their winter bees, from my understanding of this beekeeping craft. And so, can we save him? I don't know, but he wants to give it a shot. And so, I am going to give him 3 frames of healthy bees and brood with no mites. And I'm going to also treat his bees with oxalic acid vapor. And I'm only going to give him 1 shot of the oxalic acid vapor because they are completely broodless at this point. There's no eggs, there's no larvae, and there's no capped brood on any of these frames. Now, with that high of a mite load at this time of the year and no brood, I think this colony is just about to completely collapse unless we do something drastic. So that's why I'm going to not only kill the mites, but give them some healthy bees with brood, with winter bees. And the winter bees are the ones that live a long, long time, and they carry the colony through the winter instead of just living the typical 6 to 8 weeks. And they do all the work the following spring to get the colony going before they die of old age. So I think what I'm going to do is put these 3 frames of bees in here on the south side where they raised their last brood, probably because that's the warmest spot. So I assume they know better than I where they want to raise their brood. And so I'll stick my new frames in over there. And my friend's queen still is alive. I saw her, even though there's no brood. I don't know what that means, that there's no brood. Maybe she's failing. Maybe she's sick because of the high mite load, because a mite bit her and gave her a virus. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because it's that time of year. They're not going to make any more brood. Maybe she just isn't going to lay any more brood because there's no nectar coming in. I'm feeding my bees, that's why they're still brooding. You can see this used to have brood and it's backfilled. There's still some capped brood right here. You can tell it's backfilled because it's a darker color. All the cappings around the top are honey. And these empty cells here in the middle, excuse me, they're not empty, actually they're uncapped. They have pollen in them. And then these here are the cappings of the baby bees. That's capped brood. I'm dripping sweat all over this frame. It's really unusually warm for October here in northeast Kansas. So this is one frame with a little brood. There's the next frame that I'm giving him. This is much lighter, it has a lot more brood on it. This side is emerging. See all the empty holes? Now these frames are foundationless. They're all from a starter strip. I did that to be cheaper, but sometimes I regret it. The bees don't care though, so long as I don't break their combs. And then here's the last frame that I'm giving him. So he's going to pay me $40 a frame for these bees. I hope his queen is okay. I told him there's no guarantee that this colony is going to make it. Even with everything that we're doing, you see the difference between the capped brood and the capped honey? The honey is much flatter, and it looks like it was all capped in one sheet all at the same time. The colors of the honey cappings can be different colors. There's some really light stuff up here. There's some really darker stuff down here, but all of this is honey. You see, sometimes it's really smooth, like the light part right here. And sometimes it's really wrinkly, like this part right here. Check it out. And the capped brood looks totally different. It also can be different colors. It can be a lot lighter than this, but it's also much rougher. If you compare, it's much rougher than the honey texture, the honey capping texture. And each cell is a slight little bump. That's worker brood. Drones have a much more pronounced bump when it's capped drone brood. But each one has its own little individual bump because it's capped individually. So that's what that looks like. So all three of these frames have some brood, and there's even a spot on here with some eggs, I believe. I'm not sure where. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I saw it though. So I'm just going to stick that in there. And they should be fine. And I believe most of the foragers were out, so these should all mostly be young nurse bees. They just had a very harrowing experience riding in the back of my truck all the way here. They've been moved, they've been jostled, and so I think they won't be in a mood to to fight. I think they'll be very docile. I think these bees will protect their queen, and we will have to see how things go. I'm going to recommend to my friend to feed them a little bit to make them think there's a nectar flow going on, so that that way they will think that it's okay to raise brood. Maybe put a pollen patty in there, even though they've got a couple different colors of pollen in there. And then that feeding hopefully should make her lay some eggs if she's not too sick. I've got them all closed up, and now the new bees are orienting. See how they're not going straight to the entrance, but instead they're kind of swaying back and forth, looking around at things before they go on in. It's kind of a leisurely approach. I believe that is orientation flights. So those are the new bees that I brought that are figuring out where they now live. Now I'm going to treat. This is my Centec inverter that I got from Harbor Freight. I'm not real technologically smart, so I keep the instruction booklet and I review the right way to hook it up whenever I need to use it. This is going to power my ProVape 110 with my truck battery. My ProVape 110. Oxalic acid vapor is dangerous. Don't let it get in your lungs, and don't let the lid blow off of your vaporizer and send hot acid all over your face and your skin either. Big hive, lots of mites.